How's it going, everybody? Greetings from Nerdiest Time, and today this is the video I was going to be talking about of the retrospective of the Combiner Wars Dead End Mold and what my thoughts are on are these better than these guys or are these guys better than them. Ignore my band-aid, I just cut myself, don't worry about it. And quick update, I did fix my Wild Rider. Like I said, I didn't like how his knees just randomly stopped in middle places, although I might need to take it apart again and tighten them up, as you can see. But now they can move properly instead of like the soft locks in the middle. Stop focusing. And I fixed the hips. Now they move a little more freely. And now they can stop it. Okay, they can more or less stop right in the middle. But yeah, I just fixed them. Just take them apart and shave down the parts to make them work better. But let us begin with Wild Rider. Okay, so with these two, it's a little less obvious as to who's the better guy. Now, obviously, Lazy Eyebrow has gone on record to say this mold is completely garbage, well, he just really hates the mold and just doesn't understand, like, he thinks it's just that this is the upgrade to this. And if I'm being honest, I don't think that's the case. It's not as simple as that. There's a gray area here, no pun intended. And yeah, it's really difficult. For me, it boils down to what makes them better and what makes them worse. For me, I love how wide and big he is. I like that he's larger than most deluxes, which makes it better for me because I like how tall the Stunticons are. I like this guy for just the more visual beauty of it, plus the metallic silver and colors and whatnot. It just really pops. I don't mind the darker gray, but the more smoky gray here instead of this dark gray, almost green gray, it's iffy. Obviously, weapons wise, he has the better weapons, but I could just give it to him. It doesn't feel that bad. It doesn't feel out of place at all. Obviously, we all know they have horrible backpacks, but I would absolutely beg to differ, say his is the worst, even when I do it the only decent way to fix this thing. Just collapse it. It looks worse, honestly, because it's not only a giant block, it doesn't really tidy up as well. Maybe because, again, it just flows better on this guy. And also, they both have the dumb windshield flap, which is definitely bad looking. But yeah. And also, as you can see from this angle, the Dead End mold certainly hides the car hood a lot better. I wish he had a wider torso. This one has it. They both don't have wrist swivels, which sucks, but I might have to find a way to do that myself, although it won't be easy. He does have feet articulation in actual feet. I wonder why that's a problem. And yeah, and I had to modify mine because of the way they designed it. The way I got my Wild Rider was just segmented poorly. Now his hips can go properly, and so can his knees. I don't know why it was like that. It was awful. It made it really much of a chore to pose him and just play with him, honestly. But proportions-wise, it's a mixed bag. Obviously, Lazy Eyebrow's complaint about this mold is this. If I'm being honest, let me cover the wheel. That really doesn't even look that bad, and this really doesn't look bad either. It's the exact same here. The difference is proportions-wise, this is longer, and it makes it flow better, whereas this is stumpier. The problem I have with this is that due to this going on down here, he doesn't have decent leg posing. Let me show you. Look what this guy can do. A perfect kneel, especially with a tucked right leg with his large calves. It allows him to look more natural in this pose, and of course it goes way past 90 degrees, and if you want, you can even use this. You can even use the knee spike, because it's a second hinge to extend it. And yeah, as you can see, he poses just fine taking a knee. Meanwhile, this guy, he cannot, as you will see. Even if you use the transformation in the foot, you just can't get it to work. It just doesn't look good. So for me, it's like a mixed bag, honestly. Like if it were me, I would absolutely display Wild Rider and Dead End with this guy, with this mold, because it just looks better, it poses better, and it honestly just has a better presence. Obviously, I will custom paint both of these guys, but yeah, it's definitely a bit of a. It's definitely not the case of, oh yeah, 7 years in the making, or I guess 6 rather. Certainly an upgrade. Yeah, it's very much a gray area of like this mold has a lot of good on it. It's just how simple and lack of thought put into it makes it worse than this. But other than that, obviously their vehicle modes are both fucking incredible. They're both beautiful Ferraris, even though his is real, his is made up, but it seems to be based off the Italia, the 458 one. But yeah, it doesn't look half bad. Like, they don't look half bad. I just wish they put more thought into this by giving this guy like a better upgrade than this. Now let's go on to Dead End. Alrighty, and this is absolutely where it gets more one-sided. Let me lower the camera for you guys. There we go. That's better. Yeah, when it comes to these two in particular, this guy gets my favors. And again, it's like, I don't mind the Jackson mold. I actually quite like it. Again, I really wish we got the freaking Dan the Art guy concept art behind it, because oh my god, that drag strip looked gorgeous. But besides that, the problem with that mold is these little thighs. Obviously the lack of wrist swivel, but honestly, they all but Motormaster have no wrists, so why do I even bother? Yeah, it's this. These legs just suck. That's the issue. Like, this is where, again, it'll be one-sided, because this guy actually has legs and thighs. Because, like, again, for Dead End here, they should have found a way to mix these two up. Like, I love the arms on this guy, but I love everything else on this guy. I like the fact he actually has the wheels on his shoulders rather than trying to faux it up with the Unite Warriors one. I don't understand the gold on there, but it's fine. It looks cool. Like I said, they should have found a way to like mix these two up and still manage to make it incorporate into Menasor. But yeah, it's like, I don't even need to express it if you've seen my review on this guy on how much I don't like these legs, other than he can literally sit on his own calves. He has no thighs, and because of his horrible fine the Dead End, okay, and because of his his horrible placement for the cab being on his calves rather than upside down, like again the concept art, yeah, it really cripples it for me. Unlike this fella here, where like Wild Rider, he can take a perfect knee. He's leaning, but I'm not trying that hard. He takes a perfect knee and then some. Like, of course, give this guy an ankle pivot, a flat foot instead of this. Fill him out, give him some heavier plastic, and I can promise you he's just as good as this. The head sculpt's where it gets interesting too, because Wild Rider, they're, well, practically the same. One just looks a little more looks a teeny bit more ferocious. The difference is Unite Warriors was bigger. Look, these heads, like, I love the Unite Warrior / Combiner Wars head more. I adore it. It looks threatening. I like the tiered, like the pointed visor there. I really like that effect. I think it looks super cool. The bronze / dark, like metallic orange paint is really nice looking on him. Plus, the gunmetal gray helmet never hurts. And as you can see, these helmets are actually almost similar. Like, it looks like they took the inspiration of, I'll put these two together. It looks like they took inspirations from each other. Or this took inspiration from this. Oh, and actually, he can move his head up and down a teeny bit. But, yeah. Like, it boils down to proportions. I love his torso a lot more, because it's still that boxy shape, but it has a lot more definition, which I much prefer. But I do like this, and the lack of a combiner port really makes this a lot better of a chest. Other than that, again, it's like really difficult for me to decide. The reason this is gunmetal gray, by the way, is because the body, the rest of the parts are gray, so it had to match. That's why his helmet is black. I prefer the black helmet, honestly, but I prefer this entire head, and like it's just way better. It has more definition. It's more unique. Plus, it's also the inspiration behind Cyberverse's Dead End's helmet, which you guys know how much I love Cyberverse. Well, you guse actually don't, but I love Cyberverse Dead End. He's amazing. Yeah. Overall, it's a case of your mileage may vary, your preference may vary. For me, I really wish this was the base for this guy over here. Again, just keep these arms, give him this, you're set. Give him heavier plastic, the same maroon here. I don't really care for this maroon. Just keep most of this and put it in this. And, of course, again, change the arms. Other than that, it's not bad. It's definitely not horrible. But, yeah, the backpacks are both goofy as hell. I really wish we would find a way to make the Stunticons have their car parts incorporate into their persons more. Like, the hood is more incorporated into Dead End's torso and such. If that makes sense. But, yeah, this is just my part of it all. When it comes to Dead End, that is. So that's been my look and my thoughts on just Dead End versus Dead End, Wild Rider versus Wild Rider. It's again, it's a mixed bag, and it's really just a preference, honestly. But for me, like I said, I really wish these two were the basis for these guys instead. He kind of is, but the problem is just the way he was done is what makes it weird to me. But, yeah. Especially for Dead End, he should have used this instead, because it's not horrible. Like I said, this is the best part about that Dead End. Bring that in, and now it's a whole different issue. Other than that, I honestly still can't recommend getting the Legacy Stunticons, because it's such a great set. It really brings out these characters, honestly. Like, it's really bringing the new life to the characters, and just shows that Hasbro, you guys really can make a good mainline Menasor. Now keep trying, and stop wasting your money on Devastator, because he's so shit. But yeah, that's been my look at this. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully this gave you guys a little insight. And to my print formers out there, can you guys find a way to make these two, like, with these two? Because I would pay dead money for that. Help me out, please. Alrighty, have a good day, evening, or night, everybody. See ya.